Hello every pony, Dale over here. Warning, this video will contain artwork from my Divinian art. Go and follow me on daylover1313. So without further ado, here we go. Yeah, 3, 2, 1. So this video is actually coming up because Cameron Smith asked me if I were to harness a sword in My Little Pony, what I would do and stuff like that. But first of all, let's take it from the basics. So does my OC know the same as me? And I guess like the answer is yes, because like I'm not like normal OCs. Like I were myself when I came into the My Little Pony universe, and then I was turned into like a normal Earth pony, and then I escalated with Dragonfire and all of that jazz with my background story. You can see it in my other videos, but like I escalated into Alicorn, as you all know. So I think like the Alicorn, my basic OC Daylover, actually knows how to handle knives and swords like I did since I was small. So I have no idea like how young I was, but I know like if you go into where you are taking care to take children's care here in Denmark, like we will take the children and we will like teach them how to handle knives and stuff like that. And we also have scouts and they also early on learn how to handle a knife. But the most earliest on I remember handling like knives or something sharp was actually when I went out with my dad for a fishing trip. And I don't know again how young I was, almost like the same age as you go when you are put into like the place where they take children in. So I'm guessing like from 5 to 7. I'm not sure, but like I just remember like him taking me out and like teaching me how to handle the knife and gut a fish and like fishing in general and how to like cook the fish and like all of that, basic instructions. And like this was actually something that I was really surprised like my dad actually taught me, because like now I see it's not something like like parents teach their children, especially not if they're a girl. And I don't understand why, because like we're handling knives every day in our normal life, right? We cut up meat and we do stuff like that. I know like not all of it needs to be like taught, like the preparing of the fish and killing and gutting it and stuff like that. That's something else. But like teaching the child like the knife is a weapon and it's not fun to be cut and stuff like that, and getting cut for the first time is definitely not something I would recommend. But like it can be necessary to actually get the lesson in. And I'm not saying like cutting a whole finger off or stuff like that, but if you ever like got yourself cut on like a piece of paper, or you got yourself cut on a knife, you know what I'm talking about. Like it only needs to be like this really really small thing, and it's bound to happen at some point. So like watch out, and if especially if you know how to like sharpen your knives and stuff like that. And of course my dad also showed me that later on in life, like when I was a teen, or how to say that, I took up sword fighting for a little while. I actually am thinking about taking that up again, but like where we were out in a place called Trelleborg, that's a Viking place that we have here in Denmark, but where we were taught how to handle like Viking weapons. So like these big swords that like you're not supposed to hold in one hand, but like how you can handle weapons, swords, knives, bow and arrow, and stuff like that. So I think like definitely if my OC all knows all of this, like she would be definitely lethal with the sword or the knife. I would prefer a sword. I would actually prefer two swords, and I know like this is going to sound crazy, but two swords in both hands is better than one sword. And well, I could take a sword and a shield, but I don't think like that's necessary for like I guess like if you're defending yourself, it's nice to have a shield like you can hide behind. So I don't know about that, but here I would like mostly maybe prefer like gear. So like all like almost like Vikings have the gear that they have in old times. And no, they didn't wear all naked torsos. Everything was not made of only leather and stuff like that. There were actually chain mail armor. There were actually like stuff that they put on their torsos and like made sure like they could be prepared for fights and stuff like that. I know like you're thinking about the episode in Deadliest Warrior where she like a Viking have to fight against the samurai, but I still think like they're wrong with their calculations on that one. Not that I'm not saying like the samurai shouldn't win, but I'm just saying like if they were on like the Vikings main ground on the ship, or like if they were in near water or on an island, I think like the Viking would have a better way of surviving, because like Vikings can actually survive in really cold water for a long time, hiding and scouring things and stuff like that. And I think like all Norse people, like including myself, has some Viking blood in them. And when I was younger, I also loved to go out and swim in the ocean when it was really cold and stuff like that. So I'm basing my inspiration for like weapons from Vikings and like Valkyries and everything. And of course, as I said in the beginning, Frostmourne, because like that's just the way it is. Like that's one weapon that I really enjoy and I really wanted to have in real life. It's not going to happen though, and I want to use my money for something else this time. But I'm thinking like if it was my OC, my pony OC, that was bound to make a weapon, I think like she would harness the sword by either like taking it out of her wings, making it like rainbow color edge and like hilt. But I think like that is a little weird. But yeah, I don't know, maybe that would look cool. Or else like I would go to my friend that is a dragon and be like, can I have some dragon fire? Can you please make me a sword out of like this steel and dragon fire, so it was like infused with blue dragon flame or stuff like that. And when I turned like a second opinion into the king of the Rainbow Knights, he also got blue flame wings, so maybe I could ask him for like some fire, or how to say that. Basically I think like weapons in general is something like you should be really aware of, and you should have the proper teachings and stuff like that. And I'm still so thankful for my dad that taught me how to handle knives and swords and stuff like that. And I later on like got practice swords out of wood he made for me. If I can, I will show a picture of them here. Or else like there is a picture of them on my Divinian art, like I will link down below. But That was actually all. Do you think your OC knows the same as you? Does it have like uh, the same knowledge as you, or does it don't know the same things? I'm actually interested to know how that is going to escalate, and if you were to harness the sword, what would it look like, and what inspiration would you have, and would you be like able to handle swords? So yeah, that's actually all. Do remember that inspiration is right around the corner. Do remember to take care of yourself and loved ones, and that's actually all. Yeah, okay, bye.